Dude, you'll never guess what happened to me today.
You're right. I'll never.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
You sure? Because it doesn't look like nothing. Has that ever happened to you? You know, the dramatic exit and all? What you just witnessed was a lot of emotions. Usually, the person who has the dramatic exit has a return of some sort. Maybe they calm down, or maybe not. But the dramatic exit is an obvious sign that something went wrong.
You know I can hear you, right?
Oh, so I guess you can tell that today's episode is all about
Emotions.
She's Helena.
and she's Fia.
And this is our Talkie Talk Show. Ba-ba.
Episode 14, Emotions. We all have them. It's part of what makes us human. We don't go a day without feeling an emotion, even if it's indifference.
Yes, they all fall into a few categories: happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, anger, and surprise.
It's like the Inside Out characters, except they didn't have the character surprise. Surprise and happiness seem like they would be in the same category, but there is a difference.
In the 1970s, Dr. Paul Ekman made the 6 basic emotions that he classified as universal.
Universal means that all humans feel these emotions.
Later, he added pride, shame, embarrassment, and excitement to the list.
And later, research shows that humans feel emotions along a gradient, which means that we can have really intense feelings or very mild feelings.
Let's take a look at the universal emotions we have. Yay!
Happiness or joy. That's my middle name. Everyone seems to want to be happy. It's the emotion that makes us smile and feel good. We are satisfied and pleased. Happiness is linked to success and health.
The universal sign of happiness is smiling, talking upbeat, and some people sing and dance when they're happy.
Yeah, I sing and Fia dances spontaneously.
You sing even if you're sad.
True. Speaking of sadness, let's talk about that one.
Oh man. It's the emotion I don't like experiencing. It's associated with disappointment and hopelessness, and sometimes confused with depression.
Sadness and depression aren't the same thing, but sadness can turn into depression.
Sadness is expressed in crying, quietness, and isolating yourself away from family and friends. It can also cause negative thinking and negative behaviors.
If you find yourself taking on negative actions, reach out and don't be afraid to talk to a professional. It's normal to seek help. We all need someone to talk to.
Then there's fear. Fear is not fun for some people. But then there's other people who like extreme sports and roller coasters and
Halloween. Some people like the fear factor of haunted houses, scary movies, monsters, and
spiders.
I'm not a fan. Our body responds in 3 different ways. I like to call them the 3 Fs. Fight, flight, freeze.
Did you see that video of this one guy who comes up on a house one Halloween and sees this decoration of a man with a scarecrow head on the porch? It moved and the guy punched it. It was supposed to be a joke, but that guy was not having it.
That would be the fight response to fear. Some people will fight and some people will run away. That would be the flight response. Then some people will be paralyzed in the moment. That would be the freeze response. When experiencing fear, your muscles become tense, your heart beats faster, and your breathing increases.
We do that all automatically for survival because fear is an emotional response to immediate threat. We also experience a fear response to social anxiety, which is a fear of social situations.
Some research says that if you see more of what you're afraid of, then it will reduce the fear. That's what happened to me with spiders, so maybe so.
Maybe no. I don't see how seeing more spiders will make you not fear spiders. Speaking of spiders, let's talk about disgust.
Ew.
Disgust is an emotion expressed when we see something that we don't like or something that is repulsive. We can be disgusted by what we see, smell, and actions.
Disgust is thought to be a reaction that can save us from eating or touching something that can be harmful.
When we smell something that's not too good, like sour milk or rotten food in the trash, disgust is our typical reaction. By the way, sour milk can cause nausea, food poisoning, stomach pain, vomiting, and diarrhea. So don't drink it.
Ew. I'd be totally mad if someone gave me sour milk.
Which is a good segue to our next emotion, anger. Anger is an unpleasant reaction that people usually think it's bad, but it can be good. Unchecked anger is the bad kind of anger that can result in unwanted consequences. Excessive anger can result in our mental health and our physical health being messed up.
Those are negative things about anger, but there's also a positive side. Anger can help us find new solutions to problems. People get mad about injustice and wrong morals. Anger can motivate us to take a stand.
Anger can be good. That's surprising.
And that brings us to the last of the 6 basic emotions defined by Dr. Paul Ekman.
OMG!
Surprise is a short response of a startled and unexpected reaction. It can either be a good surprise or a bad one. I'd rather have a good surprise.
Yeah, I think everyone would.
Good surprises are things that lift our mood, like surprise birthday parties. Some people don't like those. Think of surprise money or surprise great test results.
Bad surprises are like finding a bug crawl out of your backpack. Bugs, yuck.
That would be more disgust, but I agree, that would be very startling.
Surprise could also trigger the 3 F's: fight, flight, and freeze. When we get surprised, we get a burst of adrenaline, and that triggers the reaction.
Most of the time, when we're startled, we widen our eyes, gasp for air, jump, freeze, or we might even scream. Our surprise response can intensify our feelings. If we're sad and we get a sad surprise, it will make us even sadder. But if we're happy and we get a happy surprise, it would probably make us excited.
Hey, you look different.
You do too.
It's the fact of the day.
It's about time. Did you know that feelings and emotions aren't the same thing?
So what's the difference?
Emotions come first, and then we feel them after our bodies process the chemicals. Then our mood develops from those feelings.
Okay,
Wow.
so
How do we process emotions? I knew you were going to ask that question.
that wasn't my
So emotions are actually chemicals released in our brain called neurotransmitters. That sounds like a big word, but to break it down, neuro means nerve and transmitter means messenger. So neurotransmitters send messages from one nerve cell to the next. Our brain uses neurotransmitters to communicate emotions to our body. When we experience an emotion, our brain and body releases certain chemicals. It takes 1/4 of a second to identify what's happened and 1/4 of a second to produce chemicals. So it happens really fast. There are 4 different types of chemicals. Serotonin, it regulates your mood. Dopamine, it makes you feel good. Epinephrine, it's known as adrenaline, which helps you act quickly in the fight or flight response. And oxytocin, it makes you feel love and all warm and fuzzy inside. And there's no hate chemical or sad chemical. It's our level of chemicals we produce that determines our emotions. Too much or too little of these chemicals can cause our bodies to be off balance. We may experience depression, aggressive behavior, or other mental illnesses. It's important to pay attention to our bodies. If you feel you don't think something is right, reach out and speak to a professional.
Wow. That's a lot of...
Wait, it's still the fact of the day. And emotions are contagious. Yep, kind of like a virus. It's called emotional contagion. Have you ever looked at a person crying and felt like crying too? Or another person's laugh might make you laugh? That's because emotions are contagious. Research has shown when you hang out with happy people, you tend to be happier and have more energy and are less stressed. Be careful, because the same happens when you encounter people feeling negative. Too much negative company can cause sadness, stress, and even depression.
Wow, that was a lot of information. If you need a recap, 1. Emotions causes us to have feelings. 2. Feelings cause us to have moods. 3. Our brain releases chemicals that cause us to have emotions. 4. Neurotransmitters are nerve messengers. 5. The level of chemicals in our body determines our feelings and moods. 6. Emotions are contagious. It's called emotional contagion.
Yep, that's it. Or you could just rewind the video.
One last thing we should mention since we're talking about emotions is
Our favorite emojis.
no, emotional intelligence.
EQ or EI, whatever is your preference, is the ability to identify and manage your own emotions.
Yes, emotional intelligence also involves emotional awareness. How well are you able to identify your own emotions and others' emotions? Are you a hothead or a pretty even-tempered?
Thea's a hothead. See? Emotional intelligence. I said a comment, she reacted to it, and I identified her emotion.
Okay. Yes, I can get a little upset sometimes.
A little?
Maybe a little bit more, but I'm learning to control my emotions. It's not that easy. You can't just emote on autopilot. It's usually a disaster for me.
Me too. Emoting on autopilot just means letting things happen without being in control of your emotions or being mindful of what you're doing. It's like instantly getting mad about a situation and reacting without knowing the details.
Yeah, some people say their thoughts or emotions get away from them.
People with a high EQ or EI lead better lives. They are able to identify and know what they're feeling. They have high self-confidence. They are realistic about themselves. They have self-regulation. They are emotionally tuned into others. They are empathetic towards others. And they perform well at school and in the workplace.
Emotional intelligence is an asset we should all develop. You can help improve your emotional intelligence by identifying what emotions you're having and what you're feeling. You can help manage your emotional intelligence by stopping and thinking before you act or judge.
Yeah, so the next time you have a challenge, stop for a second, take a breath, and think before you react. Sometimes that moment to pause can save you from consequences you don't want to have.
True. Well, that's what we have today. We hope you learned something.
Yeah, emote responsibly. Bye! You look green. You look green on the side.
This inside
Are you
angle. Yeah.
And me today,
You're right. I'll never.
you know, the dramatic exit. The person who has the dramatic exit has a return of themselves.
Welcome to this inside information of Talkie Talk Show.
It's not your
It's my YouTube channel.
You gotta go like.
No.
And Tia.
Okay, are you recording?
Yeah.
Wait. Gotta wait till I'm ready.
Is this my co-host?
Yeah. No, says the person who just slammed into the set. We're pleased and satisfied. Satisfied.
I will never be satisfied.
Ooh, you actually smell like a cookie.
Okay, let's go. I had a good time. My stomach hurts so much. Oh my goodness.
Is my hair okay?
No.
Wait. If you find yourself taking on negative actions, reach out and don't be afraid to talk to a professional. It's normal to seek help, but we all need someone to talk to. If you find yourself taking on negative actions, don't be afraid to reach out.
We'll Photoshop you in.
We feel, oh wait, sorry, that was wrong.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
We talked about this. I hope the iPhone 14 has more power. Like,
Yeah.
No. Actions, reach out and don't be afraid to talk to a professional. If he is known, will be like,
Your eyelashes look fake.
has them.
They do.
When you're surprised, you get a burst of adrenaline.
Oh.
Hey,
It's about you know it's your first day, but you're gonna be making mistakes like this.
we gotta make this. You don't want to be wrapped on the first day. It's the fact of the 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 day.
Crab handed her will pay you.
She will raise your crafting.
Okay, let's come first, and then
I'm so glad she left. That was a bad one.
I know that feelings and emotions aren't the same thing.
What?
Did you know that feelings and emotions are not the same thing?
Here for me.
Me too. Emoting on autopilot means just letting things happen without being in control of your emotions or minding your own business. No, I'm just kidding. If you feel yourself taking on negative actions, don't be afraid to reach out and call help from a professional. Yes, it's a professional. Let's talk about disgust.
Surprise is another way to trigger the four F's. Three F's.
He is in there as well. No, it's gonna have the fight, flight, freeze, fear.
Startling. Surprise can also trigger the 3.
Okay. Mom, that's not my good side.
Alright, it is now. Alright.
There's
That's alright. You can see that time. Okay.
I'm like, we need to go pick up. Quiet on set.
Yeah, and I want to do it in one take. That would be so exciting. Wow. 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 Wow.
Our favorite emojis.
I can't even say the first one. I'm gonna do a fit check. The bandana's from Walmart. The hair is from my mom. The shirt, I think, is also from Walmart or Target. I think it's from Walmart. And then these pants are from Forever 21. Oh, and then the hair things are either from the 99-cent store. No, not the 99-cent store, the dollar store, or like Target or something. Oh, my mascara? I have no clue.
How well are you able to identify your emotions?
Yes, emotional awareness. You can't just emote on autopilot.
Me too. A little.
Maybe a little more, but I'm learning. feel like slime, if it was a person, it would be very sick, but very famous.
Do you see?
Fia's a hothead. 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 Fia's a hothead.
Okay. Yes. Emotional intelligence is an asset we should all develop because it can help. We can't just emote on all of. Are you recording?
I'm hungry. Where's Crafty?